come to Poland, then you probably would have sat by the Vistula, the river that dominates the country and runs from its south to its north. But there's only one person, or in fact two people, who decided to run all the way across and along the Vistula itself. Alan is one of them. Hello, Alan.
Hi, Paddy.
And you and your running partner, Andy, accomplished something that, as far as we know, no one has ever done before.
Well, as far as we know, we checked on Google whether anyone had run from the source of the river to the mouth in the Baltic, and apparently Google said no. But people have done lots of different running challenges. They've run from the mountains in the south to the north, east to west.
Let's not talk about them. Let's talk about this incredible feat.
No one should be saying.
That's too British modesty, as usual. Just give us a sense of the scale of this challenge.
So the river itself, from source to mouth, it's 1,047 kilometres long. So that's kind of far. In miles, 600 odd plus, I guess.
Okay, most of our viewers are kilometre based, but we'll stick to miles.
So we had to decide how to split this up into manageable chunks.
Because you wanted to do this all in one go, essentially.
We wanted to essentially do it within a certain period of time. At the start, we had no idea what period of time it would be. We had no idea how long the river was. We came up with the idea of drinking a beer on the banks of the river one summer day, thinking it was maybe 500 kilometres or something like that. And I check on Google the next day, 1,047. We think, okay, how do we do this?
Yeah.
So,
had you ever run anything of that scale and size before?
No, I'd done a couple of ultra marathons. I've done an Ironman triathlon. So I've done some kind of crazy stuff, but nothing on that level.
Yeah.
Same with Andy.
Alan, you have a runner's physique, if you don't mind me saying. So
people tell me that, yeah.
you are obviously someone who loved running before you came to the sizes.
Yeah, so it wasn't, I decided one day to start running and straight away go and run 1,000 kilometres. It had been building for several years, let's say.
So we're getting to that moment where you guys are planning this enormous, great task, probably realising that maybe you've bitten off a bit more than you can chew.
Definitely, but I guess having decided to do it, we weren't going to step back, and we thought we'd give it a try, give it our best shot and just see how it goes.
How did you prepare?
It's interesting. So obviously we did a lot of running, on talking about the running side of things, we did a lot of running, but also there was a lot of other types of training. So we did quite a lot of strength work, conditioning work on stabilisation, in order to prepare our muscles for what they were going to go through. So it wasn't just running lots and lots of kilometres, there was a lot more diverse than that.
Okay, so you prepared, and it's day one. What kind of distances are you running each day? So
we decided to give ourselves roughly 50 kilometres a day to run, because it seemed like a distance that we could possibly do and keep
that's
doing.
That's a marathon, yeah?
That's basically a marathon. A marathon's 42 and a bit.
Okay.
So 50 on average was the distance that we'd run per day. Some days it was 40, some days it was 60 even. It just varies.
For most people to run one marathon is a huge accomplishment, but you're talking about how many marathons you have to run to do the whole of this job?
20 odd. We had 22 days of running in total, and I think a couple of those days we ran distances that were slightly shorter than a marathon for logistics reasons, let's say. So it was crazy. We had 4 rest days planned in the big cities along the river, so in Krakow, Sandomierz, Warsaw and Torun. Because we thought we'd need rest days. Again, neither of us had ever done anything like this before, and we just planned it in a way that we thought would maybe be possible, but not even knowing if it would be possible. I mean, we went into it just with the approach that if it worked, it would be great. If it didn't, it would still be a great thing to have tried to do.
Now, I'm assuming there must have been some high moments, some great moments, and some low moments.
I mean, there was a whole range of emotions doing the whole of this thing, and I think even now, 3 years later, I'm still understanding new bits of it, if you like. There was painful moments. I had a stage 2 days from the end where I could hardly actually walk, let alone run. I had massive cramps in my lower calf. It was near a town called Gniew, which is an interesting name for a place to have some pain, let's say. And basically what happened was I phoned the physio. We had a physio here in Warsaw, a guy called Wojciech, and he said, look, it's probably this. A lot of people have it. Don't worry, I'll tell Andy what to do. And when you get the next chance to sit down, tell him to do this massage along your leg. Now, when you hear the word massage, you think of something nice. You think of lying down on a chair, some oils and some nice smells and everything. And this was probably the most painful massage in my life ever. But it worked. Andy and Wojciech together saved my life, allowed me to carry on running that day, finish the day. And finishing that day was actually a real euphoric moment, because having been at a stage where I thought I wasn't going to be able to continue, we're thinking maybe I'll have to extend the run an extra day or something. To actually be able to run to the finish point of that day was a huge plus point, I'd say.
Now, along the way, because you're running along this river, I mean, can you actually run alongside the river the whole way?
So that's a good point. We had to kind of work out the route, because we knew a little bit of the route in Warsaw, but we didn't know much else. So we put together in a tracking program basically what we thought a route could be, and then we asked people who were locals there and said, look, do you think this is even feasible? Can you help us, give us some advice? Does it make sense to run here? Should we cross the river and run the other side? There were so many options. So we made up as much as we could ourselves. I managed to run several of the sections before the event actually started. So I did maybe 6 days worth in advance, which allowed me to iron out some errors on those sections. But we still got lost on the way. I'll take the blame for quite a bit of that, I admit. Sorry, Andy. But I guess it's natural. We had 1,100 kilometres basically to run in our plan, and we did 45k over that. So
45k over, so those were all moments where you got lost, or just because you had to go off the river in order to carry on running?
It was moments either where we got lost or the route that we had planned we just weren't able to take. At one point we didn't realise there was a canal in the way, so we had to kind of go through this small canal. Which was luckily only up to sort of knee height. But still we waded through it, went up the other side and carried on. It saved us a good few kilometres.
Now, I'm assuming some of the high moments were meeting people along the way, hearing their stories, getting to know these places you've never been to.
Yeah, very much so. So, I mean, it's hard to really pick a few moments. This was a month-long run, plus there was a year almost of preparation and meetings and researching things before then. I mean, a big high point was coming into Warsaw, I won't deny it. It was like a homecoming for us. A lot of friends came out to join us. We had a really big welcome in the city. Some people from the city council came along. A lot of our partners and friends were there. Our guys from Rock Vistula, who were helping us a lot. Friends from WITC. So it was a real homecoming, it felt like there. Yeah. But there were unexpected moments which were really nice. We got a great welcome in towns. I don't want to mention a couple because then I'll forget ones that I should mention, but off the top of my head, Połaniec was a great welcome, Opalenia, towns that I probably never would have visited if it hadn't been for this run.
And you were getting local media people as well, getting quite interested, so this story started to grow a bit.
It kind of did. Like before it started, there wasn't really very much, but once people realised, I think, what these two crazy people were trying to do, they jumped on board with it, and it was great. We had lots of people also running with us, which is a big thing also for us. I think I call myself a sociable runner. I'm not a big fan of running by myself. I prefer it if someone else comes and joins me. And in total, we had about maybe 100 people who joined us at different sections. For 1 kilometre to a friend of ours ran 4 days worth with us. He extended his holiday. He was working in China, came back to Europe and extended his holiday by a few extra days to join us for 4 days of running from Warsaw to Torun.
Now we're here by the Wisła.
Yeah.
And part of what the run was about was, of course, water quality and the quality of the Wisła. Can you just talk us through that?
Yeah, so generally, let's say the issue of waste on and around the river. So we're trying to raise awareness, encourage people to keep the river clean. Anyone who lives here in Warsaw has seen, sometimes by the banks of the river, there's beer bottles and all sorts of other waste that are left there. This is a beautiful river. We got to see it up close. It's a very wild river and it's quite unique in a lot of ways. And I guess our message, having done this run, is that we want people to try and look after it and keep it that way by cleaning up after themselves, by raising awareness and encouraging others to do the same. That's our key thing.
Now, it was 3 years ago that you and Andy achieved, frankly, from my point of view, the impossible, which is to run the whole length of the Wisła. How do you think that experience changed you?
That's a very good question. I don't think anyone's asked me that before. I don't have a ready answer. I mean, doing something like this makes you realise that we are capable of a lot more than we actually realise as humans. I think it's usually our minds and ourselves that put limits on what we can do. I would never in a million years thought I could run 1,000 kilometres in a month or whatever it was. But through hard work, by just focusing on the small little steps and putting one foot in front of the other, we somehow got there with a lot of help from a lot of people.
Well, Alan watched, because Alan's a big fan of Heart of Poland, he watched our episode with Julian Szymowski and the boxing, and I got put through my paces in the last episode.
You did very well.
We did that. Actually, I was surprised by my fitness given everything, but I have a feeling that you're going to have a little surprise for me again today, which is to do a bit of running. Am I right?
I definitely hope so. I'd love you to join me for a little run along the river.
I don't have a runner's physique, but I know I'm with somebody who can definitely say they're a professional runner and certainly hugely experienced. So should we go and put our kit on, and well, I'll get my kit on and you can carry on as you are.
Let's do it.
And we'll run a little bit of the Vistula.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Thanks, Paddy.
I can't imagine another 1,000 kilometres of that.